it's lightning. All right, so quick video on a certain type of cold front phenomenon, thunderstorms, tornadoes. We did a separate lesson on cold fronts. So as that cold air comes through and it hits the warm air and it forces that air up. When you get air rising up really fast, rising air makes rain. But then if you get a lot of that rising air, that warm air is rising up and cooling off, you get these really tall clouds. So when you get tall clouds, you're going to get a stronger, more intense storm, okay? And those updrafts right there are going to create things like lightning and thunder. It's the same thing. So as lightning and thunder forms from all the air rushing by each other, you also get what's called an updraft. The air is blowing up, and you can get things like hail that would form.
Here's a short video that shows how hail would form with updrafts in a thunderstorm cloud.
You can see as this warm air is blowing up and the cold air is sinking, you get this hail just keeps bouncing around, and until the hail particle gets big enough where that wind can't keep it up suspended in the air, then it falls. So the stronger the updraft, the larger the hail can form, and then you get hail with a thunderstorm. So that's usually a warm time ice falling event. So thunderstorms are an intense storm when a cold front comes through. And if you have really cold, dry air and really moist, warm air rising up, you could also get tornadoes. That would be like a really intense version of the same type of storm. So tornadoes, thunderstorms, lightning, thunder, hail, all form, they're like a cold front phenomenon, and you get a lot of rising air. So I got nothing else. All right, so this is a usual kind of question here. You've got some cold air coming down from Canada, so this would be a cold front coming down right there. Okay, and you have a lot of cold air coming down, and you have warm air right here coming back up. This would form your warm front right about here, maybe, where this warm air is coming up. And so as you get this warm air getting pulled up that way, and as you get this cold air getting pulled down that way, where the cold and the warm air meet right here, you're going to get those really intense thunderstorms and tornadoes, which is why this is Tornado Alley. You get the cold, dry air and the warm, moist air coming from the Gulf of Mexico. And so these are the kinds of questions that you would see with that. Safety features for tornado, or safety precautions for tornadoes. You want to get away from windows. You want to get in your basement. That's why they have tornado shelters underground. Use standard 2-letter air mass symbol for X and Y. So X, this is the continental polar, and then Y, you've got your maritime tropical. And where those two air masses meet, you get the cold front. And at the leading edge of that tropical air mass, you would have your warm front. You can see these are some tornado tracks. This map shows the path of the tornadoes, but they're all going to happen mainly in this region because you have that cold air coming down from Canada and you have the warm air coming up from the Gulf of Mexico. And so wherever those two air masses meet, that boundary, you get those. You can get tornadoes. In another diagram of the typical cold front path and how you get those updrafts. This shows a really nice anvil cloud formation where you get those updrafts. Central Canada was the geographic source region for the cold air mass. Identify the source region for the warm air mass. This would be the Gulf of Mexico. One process that causes clouds to form. So that's, you got to think back to our rec schweck. So what's the process that causes clouds to form? You get rising air, expanding, cooling, condensation, clouds. That would be the word that they're really most likely looking for there, is condensation is the process that makes clouds form. And why the warm, moist air is rising, you got two options. Warm, moist air is less dense. That would get you the answer, but the best answer is cold air forces the warm air up. So that's your best explanation. The cold air pushes the warm air up. Tornadoes, cold, dry air mass. This is this air mass labeling thing again, continental, polar, maritime, tropical. And you get the updraft, downdraft diagram again. You get that anvil cloud. Those updrafts are going to form hail. They're going to form intense winds, and that would be a, what's the reason the air goes up? Density. Let's not forget, after a cold front comes through and you get those intense storms, once that cold air mass passes over an area, you get, usually, especially in the summertime, temperatures are going to drop a little bit into the lower 80s. Skies are going to be nice and clear, and few clouds in the sky and beautiful weather.